Forget about Ball of Lightning. Bigger balls have entered town. Fireball is finally absolutely fantastic, overpowering with every cast while spreading over the whole screen. You can simply stand in the middle of the Infernal Horde, turn into a circle and everything dies. Bosses, bum, 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 just getting exploded over. And Pit 100, zoomed down. While you do actually have the opportunity to make a super speed jumping, speed farming setup, so you can go faster through the pits than ever before. The very best part, the build already works with a set of complete normal uniques. You don't even need a single chaotic or mythic item. The gameplay loop is all about fireballs. You throwing them out, them bouncing and exploding gives you mana. Then over runes you do Frost Nova, which also restores mana. We trigger the unstable currents for maximum attack speed. And in between you thread in a basic attack for the 50% damage multiplier that stacks 3 times. And that's it. You don't have to use the other skills, they're just in your skill bar to give you more damage through your passives. And it's all about holding down Fireball and then teleport forward with the teleport enchantment. Now, why is Fireball suddenly good and where does all the damage come from? And that's because of our chaotic perks. First, Mana Shield makes us undying, so we can just zoom through the area. We simply have to make sure that we have enough mana. Then you get yourself Power Siphon, which is 100% damage increase and it reduces your maximum resource by 20. However, if we have 10,000 mana, and even if we remove our maximum resource or reduce it with every single cast, we are still sitting at 9,000 plus plus plus. The real boost though comes from advanced techniques. Your base core skill ranks increase the mana cost and the damage by 20%. In the current version, we have 28 ranks on the Fireball. And if I now cast away, we're sitting at a 301 mana cost. That 301 mana cost means that every single Fireball is going to be an overpower, and actually an overpower critical strike due to the passes we're playing. For this, you simply need a Banished Lord's Talisman, and that can be a chaotic armor, but you could also just play a normal Banished Lord's Talisman, and you're looking for the more ranks into core skills, because the more expensive your Fireball gets, the more ranks you have, the sooner you can get the cost high for the permanent overpowers. And in order to really get the mana to that 300, right, to have it stack, 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 core skills aren't not enough. No, we also need the Crown of Lucian, which gives us cooldown reduction. That's amazing for our unstable currents. We'll get to unstable currents in a bit. The Crown of Lucian gives you another 75% bonus damage while multiplying up the cost of the Fireball. This again can be a complete normal unique, and or you can actually get it as a chaotic item with then even more cooldown reduction. These 4 things is what you mechanically need to get the consistent overpowers and the super damage escalation. Where are now though all the fireballs coming from, and how do you scale the damage the most, and especially how do we return our mana back? That's where the Staff of Endless Rage comes in. And again, it could be your normal Staff of Endless Rage and or a focus plus a main hand, and then you get the Staff of Endless Rage as a chaotic armor. Staff of Endless Rage says every third cast of Fireball launches 2 additional projectiles. Cool, we hold down the button and you get those additional projectiles. That's amazing because it's kind of covering the screen and you can stand back here and it kind of hits the whole room. Now the very important part here about the staff is the Fireball projectile speed, that they bounce faster, and the chance to cast twice, that you're really getting as many fireballs as possible. Also, all the ranks to Fireball are quite nifty. If you play this as the two-handed weapon in the beginning, you get 11 ranks and you can master work it up further. Whereas if you're playing it then as the chaotic armor, you only get 7 ranks to Fireball and a slight less chance for Fireball projectiles to cast twice, plus less projectile speed. Still absolutely amazing. It doesn't matter if this is your boots, your pants, or your chest. It just needs to be one of those 3 slots. The Staff of Endless Rage drops from Varshan. And then as your gloves, you want the gloves of the Illuminator. This gives you crit chance, Fireball attack speed, and this Fireball attack speed that you get here goes into attack speed cap number 2. Talk more about the 200% attack speed in a while. Then plus 3 mana when Fireball explodes, and the ranks to Fireball. Fireball bounces now as it travels, exploding each time it hits the ground, but its explosions deal 84% of normal damage. Super good. That's where the real love comes in. We're now having with these items permanently overpowered fireballs that explode on hitting the ground that just do tons and tons and tons of damage. Don't worry if you have the gloves as a non-greater affix item. I was actually clearing pit 100 with those and not with the greater affix ones. Now let's look at the skills, and then we're going to talk about 200% attack speed. We're taking Frostbolt as our basic skill for the chaotic power, and to be our only frost skill in this skill bar later for the permafrost damage bonus. Then you jam all the ranks into Fireball, together with Fireball has an increased radius, and also Fireball's critical strike damage is increased. We teleport around, making Crackling Energy, because Crackling Energy will multiply our damage up later. And we get a lot of ranks into Glass Cannon, together with Frost Nova now saying Shimmering Frost Nova. It gives us dodge chance and 10% of your maximum mana for each enemy hit. And hitting a boss grants you 100% mana. Now, we don't have Frost Nova here in our skill bar. And that's because we're casting Frost Nova over the Thul rune. Invoke the Sorcerer's Frost Nova. We are using it together with Ahu. That would be lucky hit chance to trigger Frost Nova. However, you would rather have the rune that says use core skills. I don't have use core skills. I'm stuck with Ahu. It works. It's sadly less efficient versus bosses. So really get the one for core skills. Then you're putting 1 point into Chain Lightning together with Enhanced Chain Lightning and Destructive Chain Lightning, making Crackling Energy. Because again, we want to make sure that we always have Crackling Energy, and our enchantment is actually going to be the Chain Lightning enchantment. As we're now spamming away, we always have these Chain Lightnings going on, and we always have Crackling Energy going on. And down here with the Convulsion, that means another 15% bonus damage consistently. Our Familiar is going to give us more damage, so make sure to get those Fire Familiars out. And then we're boosting all the fire damage with the Devouring Blaze and the Inner Flames, plus a chance to immobilize our enemies. You do want your critical strikes with shock skills to have a chance to form a Crackling Energy. That goes for your Chain Lightning to really always have the Crackling Energy. We get more damage with the Frost skill in the skill bar. Check, we get that. And then the Hoarfrost together with the Icy Touch. Now you notice how we have the Meteor and also the Firewall in here. That's mainly because we get core skill ranks from all our items. And then with the elemental synergies, we get more damage to fire skills with more fire skills in our skill bar. You do want to have the 3 points in Soulfire. Keep in mind though, this makes your ability cost less mana. So if you're spamming away and you notice, I'm not going up to 275, it's 273, pull a point out of Blaze and put it into Worms. That's completely fine. You're now sitting at the 301. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Hell, you might even have to pull more points out. Just keep in mind that as soon as you have enough ranks to put them back into the Soulfire. As our key passive, we have Aegis Ferocity, 475% bonus critical strike damage against enemies above 50% life, and more crit chance against enemies below 50% life. However, critical strikes that kill enemies or hit a boss grant both bonuses against all enemies for 3 seconds. And that pretty much has you always critical strike. And since you always overpower, it's always critical strikes overpowers. It's nothing, never anything else. It's always that. Good. Now let's talk about attack speed caps and how to get 200% attack speed, plus all the other aspects and what you need on your gear. In Diablo 4, you have attack speed cap number 1. And those are your bonuses you have on your rings, on your gloves, on your amulet, just the normal attack speed affix. But then you also have a secondary attack speed cap that is non-permanent attack speed, and that's where it gets a little bit complicated. If you look at my ring here, it gives me 27% attack speed. That 27% is obviously right away on the attack speed bonus. Congratulations, I get 27% more. However, we also get 15.2% pyromancy attack speed. That one though goes into attack speed cap number 2. So if I max out my attack speed bonus, if I use my unstable currents for 25% more attack speed, right? Then we're actually sitting at an easy peasy 66.5, and we would obviously want even more. But this 66.5, the 15% is not added to that. It goes all in the number 2. And the more pyromancy attack speed we have, the better it goes. Because you're going to be tempering this on your ring, on your offhand, on your main hand, and even on your amulet. And if you max roll it on all pieces, it's roughly 4 times 16%, giving you another 64% bonus. This would currently already exceed the 100% for me. I'm sitting at 130% attack speed. Now I should probably work on replacing the damage here on the amulet through another attack speed roll to really sit there with even more. If you want to know more about attack speed cap number 1 and 2, there's an article I'll link in the description below, and it actually tells you for every character. For Sorc, for example, the Gloves of the Illuminator Fireball attack speed is attack speed cap number 2. The Oaken's Catalyst, also attack speed here, is number 2. And then the Pyromancy attack speed is number 2. Plus, if we would use Crazy Brew, it's also number 2. Whereas you can see all the other attack speed cap number 1 on the left side, Enlightenment, for example, would be attack speed cap number 1, not number 2. Instead of playing explosive combinations right now, we could actually go for the Crazy Brew. However, it's 80% bonus, and with my Pyromancy attack speed tempers, I'm actually would be over capping, so that wouldn't be worth it. On your ring, you want attack speed, as we said. Then we play the Fire Starter aspect for more fire damage, and you want the Unstable Current cooldown. Again, Unstable Current gives us 25% bonus attack speed, so you want it up as much as possible because it really makes you just hurl out faster than ever. Your offhand wants to have the attack speed 2, Pyromancy, and then Fireball projectiles cast twice. Cooldown reduction, crit chance, intelligence, perfect. The aspect we're playing is Shredding Blades, not for the Ice Blades, it's just for the you gain 30% increased vulnerable damage. Our main hand is Overpower, Intelligence, and Damage. You don't need any max life because we are playing the Mana Shield to keep ourselves alive. Again, chance for Fireball projectiles to cast twice. You want to make sure that with the Staff of Endless Rage, you actually reach the 100%. And then instead of Pyromancy critical strike damage, I want the Pyromancy attack speed. Didn't get it. Plus then the Tenacious Destruction aspect for 50% more damage if you have no defensive skill in your skill bar. We don't have any in our skill bar. Tal Rasha's Lube for the 20% bonus damage and cooldown reduction. And our amulet, we can have Glass Cannon. You could have Convulsion. You could have Permafrost. Probably the best would be Devouring Blades because it's a 10% critical strike damage bonus. Then Intelligence, evade cooldown reduction that we can teleport forward faster, and Flash Fire, critical strike damage of Pyromancy skills increased, double this bonus against healthy enemies for the super damage. Our boots are the Crown of Lucian, or you play them as the normal helmet. Our pants are the Staff of Endless Rage, but they could also be the boots, so all three of these are interchangeable with each other. Then we get the Staff of Endless Rage with the Banished Lord's Talisman. Core skills is here what you want. The Gloves of the Illuminator don't actually need the ranks to Fireball. You'd rather have the greater affix to Fireball attack speed. Simply make sure that you have enough ranks for that 275 mana. Lastly, the helmet is the Air of Perdition, but that is only for the maximum damage setup. If you would like to be zooming, you can use the Flicker Stem as your helmet instead of the Air of Perdition. Make sure you're losing 5 core skill ranks then, so you're going to pull out the Soulfire points into the Endless Pyre to still have 275 mana. And now in Inferno Hordes, the Pit, Nightmare Dungeons, Hell Tides, whatever you want to speed farm, you can simply do your teleport, fireball, fireball, teleport, fireball, fireball, teleport, fireball, fireball, teleport, and that allows you to just go through all the content and hit your whole screen with everything at every given time. For Inferno Hordes, it's obviously really useful because you're going to be standing in the middle, turning in a circle, hitting everything, and then teleport always to the things you want to be at. So yeah, you notice how useful the Flicker Stab here is. That's also why it is so good as a helmet. However, it again does not have to be your helmet. If you have another Banished Lord's Talisman or Staff of Endless Rage or Crown of Lucian as a helmet, you can intersect that. You just need to make sure that you have the slot for the Air of Perdition so you can actually do your maximum damage setup as you then want to dive deeper into the pit. Paragon wise, we're going to play the Pyromanic Glyph for the Pyromancy skill multiplier. Then we go into the Searing Heat board for that easy critical strike multiplier with more critical strike chance getting us up to 100% together with a key passive. And also the Elementalist for more damage as we're dealing fire, cold, and lightning damage, and we always deal fire, cold, and lightning damage. Into the Frigid Fate board, 60% damage multiplier, and Eliminator with tons of intelligence for more mana, resistance, everything. Up to the fundamental release on Tactician, we use our defensive skills by teleporting forward. So that's how we get that damage bonus every 4 seconds. Afterwards, Ceaseless Conduit. We always have Crackling Energy. We always stack that bonus up. We have the 60% damage bonus going on. And then Destruction for the maximum critical strike damage stacking. What do you say, ladies and gentlemen? Do these balls look more magnificent to you than the balls of lightning? It's certainly an absolute amazing build that is so much fun to play. Give it a go. And don't forget to check out this video or I'll haunt your dreams. Take care.